أعوذ بالله بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره وأعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. In continuation of our yesterday's class that we commenced on Microsoft PowerPoint. So inshallah, today we are going to have a continuation from where we stopped. And I hope that the class will be interesting. And hopefully today should be the final day we are going to conclude the BDE training for both the beginners and the intermediate. Meanwhile, as we have emphasized yesterday, we hope that everybody is going to follow the due process and make his and her submission of what is required. So without actually taking much of the time, we're going to dip into sharing of the screen. So as usual, I'm going to share the screen and have a continuation of the class. Okay. So this is where we stopped yesterday, and we're able to look at how to format backgrounds in Microsoft PowerPoint. Then we look at this is actually where we explain how to format background, one of the most important things in Microsoft PowerPoint. So we are done with gradient field, then we go to picture field. This is let us take the slide 5 and see how to make a picture field, picture and texture field. When you want to use a picture and texture field, you're expected to click on here. As you can see, there is a structure that that came up here, which this is what is known as a texture field. So there are different textures which we can use to actually make our presentation enticing. So these are options of textures you can actually use for your presentation. So when you click here, there are different textures here provided depending on what you want to do. So these are textures of the emoji texture. These are other color of a texture depending on your taste and your design. Which one do you want to use? So it is expected, more importantly, as I stated yesterday, the essence of every design is for it to, apart from attraction, is one of the core importance of design is for it to be actually readable and to be visible. So for example, if when you're using a dark color, it's a dark color, so it actually doesn't make sense. So it's expected that when you use a dark color, so you use a light color, text on a dark color background. So in case if you're using something like that, then you take note of that. For example, here, this is a functions of computer, but it's not actually readable. So if you want it to be readable, you have to make it to be a lighter color, either yellow. You can put yellow, which is a bit lighter. You can use, more importantly, white, which is more lighter, or you create a background, or you create a field for it. This is where you format any shape, any option, anything you touch. This is where to format it and see the options that are available for you. So this is a shape field. You can create a shape and give it like this. You see, this is perfect. So it will allow your design to be more visible and more readable, and it will be reporting to the reader. This is how to put a texture field. Then there is a picture field, which is if I want a picture to be my background, this is where to click. Then I go on here and insert. When I insert it, someone is making noise by the the background, please you can mute yourself.
To hana shi azumin agai? Yazo yana mata mana ihu. Ko kunya baya ji? Ya ce wani kato da shi?
Please mute yourself.
Yansa bulala ma. Afwan.
Zaradin Muhammad Musa, kana
Sorry, sir.
okay. So this is how to go about it. So you could make up some you can create shape fill. There are different shapes in which you can create here and take it. So this is how to go about it. So now this is how to put a texture fill. So how do you put a picture fill? You come to here, then you click insert. Then you go to, if the image you want to put is from your computer, you can click here, and if it's a Bing image search, you can search here. If it's on save on your OneDrive, your Microsoft OneDrive, you can check it here. So I will prefer to use a picture that is on my computer. So when I click here, it's going to bring me up to my computer, and I'm going to use an image. Let's assume I want to use an image. Okay, let's assume I want to use an image of my graduation. So I could actually enlarge it to be this. Let's use another picture. Okay, sorry. I think now it's going to work better. Let's try this. So I come to picture field, then I insert the picture I want. Yes. So you can see this picture, it has become my text, my background. So this picture I can at all times this is the picture here. So I can at all time reduce the transparency so that it will look more catchy. For example, let's assume this image is here and this image is here, for example. So this is how to insert your picture into a background. So this is it. So this is tile pictures. These are all things you can manipulate at your own pace, but these are the most important ones. So this is how to make use of how to set it. So that is that for that. Then lastly we go to pattern fill. Pattern fill, let's take this slide 5. This is our slide 5. Then let's assume we want to make what? We want to make a pattern fill. These are patterns, already made patterns. So you can see these are different patterns that are already made for you. Anyone you feel, you can use it, and you can as well change the color. We have the foreground and the background. The foreground is the one that is at the top. You can see there is white and there is blue. So the blue is the one that is at the top. That is why you're seeing the color blue here. While the one that is back, it is what? It is white. That's why you're seeing white here. So you can change the blue and you can change as well the white. When you want to change the blue, you click on here and you can make the blue to become green. For example, you see that it has become green. So this is how you can continue manipulating all over any of the texture you feel, and at the same time, this white you can always change it. For example, let's assume I want to put red, for example. So this is how to change it and so on, but I think white looks more perfect. So this is how to include your texture field. And for all the options, if you want this as the background you put for this, if you want it to apply to all others, you can apply it here. For example, when you just notice here, when I click on here, apply to all, everything is going to change here. So for example, I click apply here, you see everything has changed. That means all the designs, they have taken the same. So the same time, the same thing I can do for all others. So I will do Ctrl Z to undo changes I made because I don't want it. So this is how to set up the pattern field. Then we have, for example, there are some graphics. There are some, when you come to design, we are going to see how to hide some of the graphics. That is where it is applicable. So this is it. And I hope you join the class. And for this one too, it has a way of as well formatting it. This one has no field. If you want to put on a field, that means for the selected items on the slide, you can make it a solid field by as well changing the color. For example, let's assume we are changing it. So this one is only peculiar for this. So this option is also available. All this format shape, it is also available here. This option is the same thing as here. So we can always use it. You can do this by right clicking on your screen and coming to format background. Then you click a selected item and you do whatsoever you want to do, for example. So, but as well, it is here, as I said. So it has different options. This is where you could insert any of these in case if you need. Maybe I need an arrow, so I can click on here. This is the arrow, and I can decide its thickness from here, or I can decide its thickness here. So however I want to use it. So this is it, and you can as well increase it here. Let's assume I want to make it 5. So you can see you can always increase it. So this is it, but I'm not going to use this. So I'm going to delete it. So this is an option. So another way is for the anything you select, you want to see the available options for it. You're going to see it in the format space. Like for example, there's a shape, so I want to format it. So these are options, anything you want to, there are different shapes here. You don't need to bother yourself on designing a shape or something. There are different shapes here. Even if you want to write a textbook or anything for primary, secondary school or so on, you can use any of this shape and you can manipulate. So this is something very interesting about that. Then here, which is where you can, when you can use preset provided where you can use provided colored outline. Actually, this is for outline. You can see the outline there is changing. What we mean by outline is the line that is surrounding a shape. So this one too, for example, this one is when you want to use blue, while this one is when you want to use any other. And you can as well take different shapes here and put outline. These are it, for example. Let's assume I'm taking this. Let's assume I'm taking this. You see here, the line you are seeing here is white that is surrounding it. So when I want to change the line, I can go to shape outline and change the color to maybe blue or red. For example, if I want red, you can see now the line that is surrounding it, it is what? It is red because that is what known as the outline. Not only that, I can format a shape effect. I can make it to be what? I can make it to be, I can give it a shape. As you can see, this is a shape. Look at how it becomes something like gold shape or what, or is it a, so you can see the shape here. Then you can as well click on it and see other provided options that are there. So these are other provided shape formats. So you can use other, what, if you want to give it texture, you can use, I can give it a shadow. You can see, you can give it any shadow you want here. While this one is something, anyone, if I want to make it something like this and something like this, for example, then I can apply, okay, we've not come to transitioning. So this could have been a perfect way to transition your another way in which you can use the transition. So I will Control Z because I don't want it. So this is how to use the shape fill. The shape fill I said is the color. So you can always change the color. You can always change the color. So this is how to play around with it. Then here is a quick style you can use for the wordings here. You can select the words, then you can give them style, maybe something like, let me use, so this you can see it's giving it beautiful style and difference. So you can always play around and see. You can always play around and see. And these are theme colors. And use white, for example. You can see how it give it a background. So this is, so anything you want to do, you have to highlight it in order for you to be able to, this is for the outline. You want to put an outline, and if I don't want outline, just like I don't want, I'll say no outline. And this is also for shadow, if you want it to have more shadow actually. So you can always maneuver this and make use of that. So this is, if you want to bring something forward, for example, now I want to, this is, I'm covering this here, right? This is it, I'm covering this. So I want this thing to go back to the back, and I want this to come back to the front. I don't need to suffer myself. I'll just click here, then go to what shape format, then send backward. So if I want to send it backward, then I just press send backward, send to back. You can see it has gone to the back. While if I want to bring it forward, or anything I want to bring forward, I will just go to bring forward or bring to the front. For the bringing forward is when you have some other options, some things. So you want the one that is, for example, now we have, let me copy this so that there will be 3. So this is 3. Let me assume this is red. Okay, sorry. Let me make this red. No, sorry. Let me make it yellow. So we have 3 shapes here, right? You have 3 shapes here. Let's now see what do we mean by forward and backward. So this is a shape. If I want this to go back, then I'll select it, then go to what, take what, if I want it to go to the extreme back, I'll press here. If I want it to be, okay, let's try the backward. If I want it to be backward, then I press on what, backward. So you see, it's going to the back of what was at the front. But if I want it to go to the extreme, this is Ctrl Z. I want to undo. So I want it to go to the back last. It should be the last thing. Then I'm going to click it. After clicking it, then I send it to what? Send to back. So you see it is now, you cannot even see it is at the back. But I think when I will move it something like this, it is here. So this is the difference between backward, then vice versa, the same thing, the same way it is used in the what? The same way it is used for the send forward. So this is what we're going to take here. And I think we're done with formatting. So now let's look at designs, editing a template and so on. So these are design. So these are, when you click on design, there are some already provided templates for you in which you can use. For example, you can see, so when you click this, you see the whole of your design changes. You can see the whole of your design changes, you can see. So, but you have to arrange some things that are not appropriate. You see, the whole of your design will change. So this is how to actually, if you want it, Ctrl Z. If you want to add only a design to only one slide, then you click on the slide, then you go to design here, for example, you see. So you see, as I said, you have to arrange everything back. You have to arrange anything because we are using a template that already has its own design, pre-design, and it has the way it is, the listing is arranged. the what will I call it? Its text is arranged. So this is how to make it. For example, I'm using this, let's assume. So just like I was explaining the other time, this is the texture that came with the background. If I want to remove this texture or something like this, then I will go to what? Hide background graphics. When I click on what? When I right click on the screen, go to format background, then I'm going to click on hide background graphics. So it's going to clean up the background of the graphics that is on the background. So this is it, how to do it. So you can change colors, the same for a design, you can change different colors. You can actually change different colors depending on what you want. Sorry, this is supposed to apply to the let's take okay. Sorry. So these are the designs we're working on, and we say you can use from varieties of design. This is it. You can use varieties of a design. Let's assume I want to format shape field. I want to see new field, outline, no outline, shape. I want to make it okay. So I think somebody is eating fish. Your sound is coming in. Mukhtar Nasser. Okay, great. So this is how to maneuver the design. You can change the design even from the beginning of your design. From the beginning of your, let's assume I want to work on another project. So this is Control N. So this is a new project, right? So I want to work actually on, from beginning, maybe I don't have time to design, so I can click any of the templates here. So you can see, let's assume I want anyone you want to take, you can work on it and watch and make your design. You can put your title here, just like we did yesterday, my first presentation. This time you can put your name. So you can put anything, you can put a picture, you can put anything. So these are ways you can, as I said, you can change colors. You can change the color, you can change it here, any of the color with the same design. So this is how to go about it. So I will move back to my previous design now. So this was the design we're working on. So there are very interesting, very comforting templates you can always use. So this is how to make use of design. Then let's move to transitioning. Transitioning, it depends on when you want to animate or when you want to transit your page. How do you want, when I want to, now for example, if I want to present this page, I will go to slideshow. I want to present from beginning of this slide. I want it to cover the whole of my screen. Then I'll press begin from beginning. Immediately I click, you see, this is just something. So I will have to be pressing arrow for it to go next, 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 next. So you can see, then I press escape if I want to do it. But if I want it to come with some styling, I want to make it to come in with a style or so on, then I'm going to come to transitioning. This is transition. For example, let's give this a transition of this. So this is how it's going to come in. So let's once it shows this, that tells you that there is a transition on that slide. So, but these ones, there are no transitions. There are no transitions here. So let's also put a transition here. While in this transition, I want it to be a push. This is how push comes in. So this is how the second slide is going to come in. So the same thing, we have options of how do you want it to go out and how do you want it to, let's assume I want it to be, once it wants to go out, this is how I want it to go out. This is how I want it to move out. So I have set it. So I've already put in the settings there. So, and this one, I want it to what to move to let's assume I want it to be a zoom type. So this is how I'm going to, okay, let's have a display of this. You can see this is how it comes out. So I go to the next, you can see this is how it comes out. So these are the ones we have put in. So we've put in a transition on your on your slide. So you have different options. It comes with subtle, exciting, or dynamic. So anyhow you want your design to come out or your page to come out, you can always set it. For example, you can, let's take this as the last one. So you can put on airplane. So it's going to, this is how it's going to come in. So let's now play it. You have option of previewing. If you want to preview for a slide, if you want to preview for this one, if you want to preview for this one, you have a way of doing that. But now you can always use this option here, which is located here. You see slideshow, to make your presentation. So you can see here, this is how it comes in my PowerPoint. I can press my next arrow. You see how it comes in. Sorry. You see, when I press the next arrow, this is how it comes in. And when I press next arrow, you can see this is how it comes in, because these are the only ones I put the transition. Then I can press the escape on my screen. So this is it. And I think lastly, let us put for this one too, so that it will be that we put for everyone. So let's put for this. I have also put for this. So this is how I want it to change. So I've put transition for that. Now let's go to animation. This is animation. Yes, this is animation. So animation is also mostly for the content inside every slide. So for example, I want to put an animation for this. Let's assume this is another one. Let me put a shape preview. Let me put a shape field. Here's a shape field. Here's a shape field, for example. So I want this one to come different style with this one. So I'm going to click on this and go to what animation. Then I give it a star. I want it to be an appeal. So this is how, okay, then this one is no more. I want it to fly in. So this is how it's going to fly in. So this one, it is the number one thing that will come to my screen. If this is the number two thing I want to come to my screen after the page has come, I'm going to set another one. Now I'm going to come random bars. This is it. So you can see this is how this one is going to be displayed, and it gives it automatically gives all what is there, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how it works. So let's see how it works here. Let me slide view. You can see, look. Then you see this is the number one thing. If you want, you can automate it though. So you can press the next arrow. You see, this comes in, next arrow, this comes in, next arrow, this comes, this comes, this comes. So immediately press every arrow, everything is going to move. Then you go to the next slide. So PowerPoint is very interesting and enticing. It also creates fun within your class, and especially when you are taking younger generations that they like animated things. So this is how to put on your animation. So you have other options to make your animations. So you click on here, for example, then I can put all other animations. So you have another one in person. So this is how it's going to do. I want it to be a spinning one. I want it to do like this when it comes in. And here, I want there, there are different things here that I can control all them in as well. Give them what? So this is how I want them to display. Right? Perfect. So this one too, I want it, this shape here that is here, I want to what? I want it to be like this, or I want to, let me give it something that, so this is how it's going to automatically put in a what? You've put in. So these are others actually. You can always work on them. You can put sounds, animation sound if you want. There are different sounds here if you want to put. So let's assume I want to put this sound. Okay, let me see. Sorry. Okay, Control Z, please. Okay, there are ways I can put sound. For example, I want to put sound on this. You see, this is a sound here. This is a click. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to make a little recall. Okay. For this, the introduction. Sorry, I'm trying to recall in on the, wow, we have less than 5 minutes. Sorry for that. Okay, sorry, please. I'm going to take on this the sound. But before then, let's just conclude some other important things here. So when you want to make it automated, you want to make it to automate. So you can keep you can automate your design. For example, when you start, you want to convert it to be just like a video. You don't need to be pressing the next arrow, next arrow, next arrow before it moves. So you can select on what with previous, after previous, or so on. So you want, if this one you want, it is yourself manual, you want to be making the presentation, moving to the next slide. This is when you click on click. For example, when you're having a presentation in the view of people. So, but this one, if you are just displaying it like a video, so you can click on with previous or after previous. So you can go to, for example, let's see for the with previous, then this are duration. It's going to spend up to what, 0.50 seconds before it moves. So how long do you want it to delay before it goes? Let's assume you want it to delay for 1 second. For 1 second. So I've already set it to that. So let's play it and see what we are actually doing. So when you play it, you see I'm not touching it itself. It is itself that is making its presentation. Then this one will delay for like one. Okay, it's like I put 1 minute, right? So sorry. Okay, sorry. This was one I put. I let delay, but I did not set for this. So that is why it didn't come. So had it been I put with previous. So we are going to see how it's going to prompt in. So let's try it. You see, it came in together with this. That is with previous. But if it is after previous, so I can put it with what after previous. That means after this one has entered, then this one should enter. It should enter automatically without pressing my keyboard. So this is it. 1, 2, 3. You see, each one starts. So you can as well convert this to a video form. So you can, this is how to set it. You can set for other pages too, so that they take the same thing. So this is how to do this. I think I have less than 2 minutes. I think we are going to stop here. So we are going to stop here. Okay, before the 2 minutes, I think let's try for this too. Let's time it. Let's time this. Also, let's see. After previous. This one too. After What after previous? So I've already set it to after previous. So it's going to move. So it's going to move in and out. So, sorry. So what we mean by the animation pane is it's going to tell you which one after the other and so on. So this is the animation pane actually. So it's going to give you you can shift one after the other. For example, this conclusion, I want it to, okay. So this is not, I don't think this is the shifting side. Okay, right. Let's move here. Then I have set for this tool so that it has its own, it's automated actually. So you click on here. So you see automatically without pressing anything, it is playing by itself. It's playing by itself. Then you also see this tool, you see it's going to come in. It's going to come in. So this is after a click, because I did not set it to automate. So this is it. PowerPoint is very interesting.